One thing I'm very grateful for is the amount of fun that we have at school. So while academics are very, very important, obviously we need to prepare the kids for workforce after high school. We are very appreciative of the fun things that we get to do, like the teacher talent shows, which nobody really has talent at our school except for maybe Miss Schmidt. She's uber talented.
I love it. And you guys post it on social media, and it just is such, like, it just looks like they're having so much fun and the kids love it.
This is The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. Whether you're a seasoned real estate expert, a first-time home buyer, or if you're simply passionate about hearing small business stories, this is the podcast for you. Join us as we dive deep into the world of real estate and beyond.
Welcome to episode 24 of The Real Deal. I am your host, Janine Igliani, with my co-host, Ryan Hatcher.
What's up, guys?
And our guest today is the lovely and wonderful and super loved principal of Centennial Elementary, Miss Rachel Broadley. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. And you've been the principal for, you just said it, 13 years.
Yeah, 13 years.
Which
yes.
is so crazy. My kids were so little when they started there. So I was just telling her the other day, I have memories popped up of my kids getting awards at the school, and you were the one that gave it to them. Like, so adorable.
Yes. Yeah. I've been, I was assistant principal for 5 years and the last
That's
8
right.
as principal. So yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us, how did you get into education? Why education? All of that.
So it was total happenstance, accident. I went to school to get a degree in history. I love history, just it's my thing. And I ended up working in corporate. So I worked private sector for finance for a while, worked at SRP doing some stuff there as well. Ended up going to nursing college, doing some things there as well. But
here in Arizona or where?
In Arizona,
Okay.
yeah. And the company I worked for went under and I needed a job ASAP. So the easiest thing to do with my degree is get into substitute teaching. I tried that, loved it, was asked to come back to do long-term subbing and started teaching 5th grade without an actual certificate, and went to school and decided to get into education. So did that for a few years. I really stuck with the primary grade. So 4th, 5th, and 6th. I had an opportunity to teach 6th grade social studies, which is like the best.
Oh, probably.
It's
Yeah,
so
that's
fun.
like combining your history.
Yes.
With, yeah.
So, and then I had an opportunity to get scholarshiped through this new program that ASU was starting years and years and years ago for aspiring administrators. And so I had the opportunity to be the first cohort with their leadership group that they were starting. And I just kind of fell into the principalship. So
That's
in a
exciting.
nutshell, that's my journey.
So you got into education, you started out teaching. Did you kind of have your eyes set on like school leadership?
No, not at all. Like I said, it was just, it's just one of those things that kind of fell into my lap as an opportunity. I feel that in my life, even growing up and just through different volunteer opportunities, I do take on a lot of leadership roles. So I think it just kind of happened to be that way, but I didn't actually want to do that from the get-go.
Okay. What is your birth order, by the way?
I'm the oldest of 6.
Okay, I figured.
And I'm a Capricorn. So like, if you're into that as well, like,
yeah,
yeah.
No, I totally believe in that stuff. Like in terms of who's going to be the leaders and who naturally will fall into that.
Yeah.
The oldest of 6?
Yes.
Is it blended or all?
We're blended. My youngest sibling is 18 years younger than I am. So yeah, we've got a pretty large range.
That's like me, and I'm the oldest of 6 too.
Okay.
And blended as well. My youngest sister is 13 years younger. So
Yeah.
kind of relate to that.
Yeah.
How fun though.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been at Centennial. Where else have you taught at?
So I started off teaching inner city Phoenix in the
Okay.
Murphy School District. It's like a 4-school, I don't know if it is still, but it was a 4-school district. Very, very small, very close, tight-knit community. So I started teaching there. And then I transferred out to Coolidge, but the Santan Valley side of Coolidge,
Okay.
which is now Florence School District. Taught there, and then also became an academic coach. So I coached teachers, and then I was an assistant principal down there for a year as well at the middle school in Coolidge.
Nice.
So driving around the mountains to the other side every day was quite the journey.
Yeah, I bet.
And then applied here in Higley, and I've been here ever since. It's the best. I absolutely love the community, love being here.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed.
And I think with teaching, you guys, teachers, faculty, staff, like anybody in the school system has such a amazing opportunity to impact a child's life, right? Like really have a positive impact no matter what's going on at home. Like they can come to school, they're safe, they can be loved on. What has been some of your like favorite moments?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have the opportunity to really make a difference. We also love partnering with our parents as well to kind of create those mentorship opportunities or just those bonds with kids as well. One thing I'm very grateful for is the amount of fun that we have at school. So while academics are very, very important, obviously we need to prepare the kids for workforce after high school. We are very appreciative of the fun things that we get to do, like the teacher talent shows, which nobody really has talent at our school except for maybe Miss Schmidt. She's uber talented, our music teacher, but like it's more of like a variety show. I'm just going to call it what it is. We all like think we have talent, but so being able to do those things for kids is super fun. I know the parents like to come to those things as well.
I love it. And you guys post it on social media and it just is such like, it just looks like they're having so much fun and the kids love it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, see their teachers act silly and
yeah, I mean, it's always a good time when you can get up there and make a fool out of yourself, but like laugh at yourself as well. Yeah. And I think it also provides that opportunity for kids to see you in a different light and maybe connect a little bit differently. So I think those opportunities are fun. And then I have the opportunity to do some really fun I do yoga and mindfulness every Wednesday with groups of kids. So I get to do that and connect with kids in a different way and teach them like breathing and how to be more mindful and present and kind of work on some of those big emotions.
That's awesome.
So as a principal, I'm very fortunate for that opportunity that parents allow me to work with their kids in that capacity.
Yeah. That's cool because again, now you're teaching them life skills, right? That they can take into adulthood and you're impacting them in a positive way. That's super awesome. I don't think a lot of principals do that.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. My principal didn't do that growing up.
And I think it's important because, you know, again, we're instilling the academics and that love for learning. But a lot of things have shifted since like we were in school. A lot of the development of soft skills is super important. So that looks like collaboration and problem solving and critical thinking, things that aren't just, you know, reading, writing, math. It's a lot different now. So
that's what the real world is.
Yeah.
It's collaboration.
Yeah. So it's some of our mindset has had to shift a little bit in education.
Let's talk about that a little bit because one of the things that really stands out to me that's different from when I grew up and probably even from when you started in education is just technology, social media, phone usage. How have you seen that impact education?
It's challenging, right? So you want to stay up to date with the demands of the kids' attention and what they like, the click, click, click. They love all that and trying to keep them engaged. But then it's also going back to, okay, but we need to be interpersonal and like collaborate together and have conversations and like look at each other in the eyes and shake, you know, like those type of things are so important. So it's really trying to find that balance. We know that kids typically have more access to technology at home than they're going to have at school. But we try and teach them how to maybe collaborate online through like our Office 365 suites, like through Teams or different things like that to kind of prepare them. They create shared PowerPoints. We allow them to, I mean, the kids love to create PowerPoints and Prezis and like Canva is like the new thing. So staying up to date with that is it's really cool.
We use that in our business. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's more of just like at the elementary level, it's more of that technology piece. And then we do provide them opportunities to play some sort of games every so often just to keep them engaged with rote things like math facts or just reading CVC words or things like that. But we've got to find that balance. And that's the tricky thing is the balance piece, because we do want them to learn how to talk to each other and collaborate in person as well.
What grade do kids have phones now? What's the earliest?
You know what? I don't know. I see kids in like third grade, maybe even younger, have phones. A lot of the younger kids have the watches. So I don't know. I'm super old school though with my own kids. So
do you guys have a policy at the school about the phones and what all of that?
Yeah. So the policy is that they've got to stay put away. If they're a disruption to the classroom, then the teacher will contact the parents if needed, if it's like a repetitive thing. But we usually just give them a warning, put it away, put it on silent. It's really not a big issue. We haven't had that problem. I've seen as the kids get older, oftentimes they use their own technology and they bring it to school and they can interact on their phones to complete surveys or like online games or things like that with their teachers.
Yeah.
But again, as they get older too, in middle school and high school, the kids are now a one-to-one in a one-to-one setting where they have laptops that they interact with. So
I was in a meeting recently and they were talking about, years ago we were pushing like computer technology, robotics, and things like that. And now because of social media and phones, the kids are just learning it as they grow. So now it's like a switch back to like what you were saying, like those interpersonal skills, shaking hands, eye contact, how to make conversation, because that's the stuff that sometimes gets lost. That it's like you see that come 360 in terms of what we're focusing on, which is so interesting, right?
Yeah, it is for sure. And I think too, like even though we teach them technology and different ways to collaborate online, it's going to change next year, just with how quickly technology changes. So again, the soft skills are really, really important.
Yeah.
Well, I work with 16 to 18-year-old young men often, like weekly, and many of them struggle to have a conversation with adults or with kids of the opposite sex. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it just has to do with so much usage of phones and games, and the soft skills are so important because that's what is going to help them be successful in life.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
One of the things that I think that you've done really well at Centennial, we had talked about this earlier, is I feel like you guys have such a cool culture there. You have some amazing, amazing teachers that I've had the privilege to not only work with, but get to know just on a personal level. And they all like genuinely care. And I really think that when you see that culture prevalent among the teachers and the staff, it starts from the top and works its way down. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I could talk about my school culture like all day, every day. It's like one of my favorite things. It's the thing I'm probably the most proud of. I love coming to work every day. I love the people I work with. We're truly a family there. And it's not just within the walls. It involves our community, like you guys. Like it's just, I'm just very blessed to have this positive community and culture there. So we step up, we help everybody. I model, I kind of lead by modeling, you know, if somebody needs help covering a classroom or things like that, myself or my assistant principal were one of the first people to volunteer to do that. We have honest conversations with people and we always approach things out of love and care. So if I see, let's say I saw you doing something you shouldn't be doing, or maybe you're teaching in a way that isn't like best for kids, we approach it with love and compassion because we know you wouldn't be doing that on purpose. You wouldn't be doing the wrong thing on purpose. We're giving you that benefit of the doubt. So, and I care so much about you that I want you to do better because when you do better, the whole organization does better. So and it's not just coming from like myself or Matt, my assistant principal, like we expect that from everybody. So from staff to staff, it just, I don't know, you care deeply about people. We all rally together when there's a need, if there's, again, coverage that needs to happen. If somebody's going through a hardship at work, even within the community, we rally, we get together. The one thing I love is that we have so much fun working together. I get made fun of all the time because I'm like, oh yeah, we work hard, we play hard. And like, you can't say that. It's just like, so like, you know,
cliche,
yeah, but I'm like, but it's true. I really believe in that, the having fun at work, because if you're not having fun at work or you don't feel that you're valued or that you don't feel like you're important, like you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the staff that we have there. A lot of them have been there since I've been there. We've had a handful that have been there before I've been there, the 2 years prior. And then all the new staff that we brought in, I mean, we're just a big family and we have so much fun, but we get the work done, and these people work incredibly hard and they put everything into it. So when they are done at 3:30 or 4, whatever time they go home, I want them to be done, kind of go home, enjoy your family, do those things. Cause they know as well, like in order to have that balance of work and home life, like your family always comes first no matter what. So it's just, I don't know. It's all those things like creating the balance, having fun, you know, supporting one another. So
I love that. So just to like recap, you said, number one, you care, like you genuinely care about your team, which is huge, and they feel that, right? And then when they know that they're cared for, they naturally will want to do better. You guys have fun. That's so important because this is hard work. At the end of the day, it's not easy. There's, I'm sure, very challenging situations that come up and having to work through that. So you got to have that fun. And then you prioritize their family time, which is huge, which says to them, hey, I value and care for you because that's important. And I want you to make sure you have that. That's awesome.
Yes, 100%.
And then you model it, right? By being willing to jump in and help where they need it. It's like rolling up your sleeves and getting in the work with them. That's awesome.
Yes, for sure.
What's your greatest challenge?
Greatest challenge
As a principal?
As a principal right now, always finance. Always, I think from we've got an awesome finance department within Higley. Super blessed to have Tyler Moore up there. He's an amazing CFO. But I would say more from like the state level down, finance is always tricky. So that, and then just some of the policies that are changing and staying up to date with some of those things. So money and policy, I would say. Yeah.
One of the questions Ryan likes to ask, which I love too, is what are your like non-negotiables in your life? What would you say are things that you're like, I will not compromise. This is important to me.
Are we talking like personally,
Yeah.
professionally?
Either way.
Well, I think this kind of goes both ways is family. Like, again, family always comes first. So regardless of whatever it is, if that impedes, if it impedes your ability to do your job, then like, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what I can do as your colleague to support you in that. But I'm also like that with myself. So last year, my daughter was in the hospital for a pretty extensive amount of time. And I knew that I didn't have to worry about anything because everybody at the school just stepped up and did what needed to be done. So again, it's that non-negotiable. Like, I don't need to be texting everybody. I don't need to be emailing. I don't need to set anything up because I know you guys will take care of it for me. And so I just think that family piece is the non-negotiable. The other one is if you're not happy, whether it be at home or at work or whatever, like, let's talk about it. What can we do to find that happiness? So I think that family and happiness are probably like the two most important things in my life personally, but also professionally.
I love that. Wouldn't you agree, Ryan?
Absolutely. I mean, life's too short. Why would you continue to do something you don't love?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And you can change it. That's the other thing too, right? I was just talking to, who was it? Probably one of my kids. And we were having this conversation. Oh, it was my daughter. She's off at college and she's stressed or whatever. And I'm like, okay, Elise, like, what things have you done that have caused this? Like, and then what can you do to fix it? Mm-hmm. Right? You're not a victim. So let's take the power back and not be a victim of our circumstance. And let's go figure out how we can fix it. And so if you need help, go talk to your professors. If you need more, time on something, then ask for it. But you have to advocate for yourself.
For sure. And problem solve and figure out what it is that's,
Yes.
And what it is that you want, or even be open to exploring things.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, this might be a possibility. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds like just from you, again, as a leader in the school, that you allow for those conversations, which is so awesome. Because that collaboration is where that learning happens, and just making it a safe place that someone can approach you and have those conversations.
Oh, for sure. I always welcome, and I always tell my teachers, just my staff in general, like, if you see me doing something wrong or you have a problem with what I'm doing, please tell me, because like, I would do the same to you. Like, care about me enough to like come and tell me when I'm doing something wrong, because I know I make mistakes. I need to grow, and the only way I can do that is with feedback. So.
And you guys have, I think education in general, honestly, probably your whole career has been almost like under attack. I feel like there has just been challenge after challenge after challenge, right? I remember the Red for Ed and just all of that stuff. Like I feel like it's the teachers at the end of the day, right? That are stuck in the middle. Like, they're trying to do the best for their students, but then they're stuck with this stuff. That's so hard. How do you navigate that?
It is. It's really hard. Again, it goes back to kind of the policy that I was talking about. It's challenging because in our field of work, you're dealing with people that care very deeply and passionately about what they do. And I'm not saying that other professions aren't like that. Teachers are just different, we, especially at the elementary level compared to the high school, we're different. You love the little babies and all the things. And so when your profession is under attack, you take it personally. I mean, I think anybody would, especially when you're pouring in hours and hours, not only at school, but the amount of time and effort these people put into their craft, when they're home. And I'm always
Sure.
like, stop planning at home,
Yeah.
stop grading at home. Like, what can we do at school to provide you more
Yeah.
time for that? But the amount of time and effort they put into their craft, and then to constantly be like scrutinized or questioned, it is disheartening, which again, I think goes back to that importance of building that positive culture so that they do feel safe to take risks. They do feel safe to bring concerns up, or they do feel safe to like maybe try a different avenue, or maybe try a different grade level, or whatever it may be. I do find value in creating that safe space, not only for the kids and our family, but like also for our teachers, because we see what it's like. We know what it's like out there.
Yeah. So I live right by Centennial. And so I drive by it all the time. And there's so many times like over holiday break or late in the day where I see cars, like lots of cars. And I'm thinking, okay, is it like a conference or whatever? But oftentimes I'm like, I think it's teachers like working late, coming in early, coming in over their break to do things. And that's like, wow, I can always see it before school, like the parking lot gets filled. And I'm like, those teachers, people think that they have like the greatest schedule, but they don't see all the other behind the scenes stuff that goes into it. They don't just show up and teach, right? They have to lesson plan. They have to do so much.
Yeah. And a lot of times over the breaks too, the teachers, not only are they still planning and preparing, but they also go to conferences and try and improve their craft, or they're learning new strategies to bring into the classroom, or they're participating in book studies. So there's a lot more where we are continually trying to grow professionally that is kind of behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see.
So speaking of that, what would you say if there's somebody out there that is interested in getting into education? What would they do? What advice would you give them?
So I'm going to just go ahead and like root for my alma mater here and like really look into ASU's teacher prep program. I think it's amazing. It's not what I went through, but it is amazing. The quality of student teachers we get through the teacher prep program is phenomenal. NAU has a great one as well, but I really do. I like to hype up the ASU one.
Yeah.
But you know, if you have questions, talk to a teacher, ask like the real questions, like how much time and effort, what is the work like? I mean, yes, you do get the flexible schedule with the breaks and things, but you know, find out like really nitty gritty. I think you can always shadow a teacher too, which is always interesting to come in and just pop in and help or volunteer. But really start at the college level, or if you're in high school, both of our high schools have CTE programs to get into early childhood education. So that would be a great opportunity for teens to explore those avenues as well, to see if really working with kids is what they want.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's ASU
awesome.
all day, every day.
My props go to teachers. I did my first semester, you guys may or may not know this, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. And so my first semester at Cal State Long Beach, I took all teaching classes, and I very quickly realized this is not for me. These people like were so excited to like lesson plan and do all this stuff, and I was like not about it. And I was like, oh, this is not for me. My point is, I think it takes a very special person, and somebody that can really love on the kids and pour into them is amazing. And we are just so, so thankful for our teachers. And we're thankful for you. Again, like I said, I feel like that leadership and that culture starts from the top and works its way down. And you have modeled that. And it shows up in the teachers that you have, the longevity that you have with them, their just happiness level. And then the feedback from the families. I mean, we just hear it all the time. So we're so excited to be a partner with you guys and to help support. We absolutely love Centennial. So.
Yeah, well, thank you for your support as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we build this like great community,
sure.
and it's just full of love. And
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. Make sure to follow or subscribe to the Home Selling Team on YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify to stay up to date with our podcast.